Hello everybody, I just got out of Star Wars The Force Awakens. Yes, it's finally here, it's finally out. Saw it opening night, 10:45, AVX, Star Wars Atmos, as the ticket says, and yes, I got the Kylo Ren glasses with a big thumbprint on them already. My fault. They came in a bag. I did that. It does say The Force Awakens on it. I just think they're very cool. I got those, of course. And I got the Collector's Cup with Kylo Ren. You can get many. BB-8, Chewbacca. I have Kylo Ren, as mentioned. Rey, Finn, etc. This nearly ruined Star Wars for me. We'll get to that. Spoiler-free review. 100% spoiler-free. This is Star Wars. Original trilogy is usually that gold standard people have for these movies, and it very much is that. The feel, the tone, the style, the shots, the look. It very much seems like Part 7 of everything. It follows Jedi 30 years later and has that look and feel of Star Wars, like the way the shots are done, the angles, that tone and feel that is very much of the original trilogy is back here. Yet with stuff that they've learned in 30 years. So there you go. A big thing I've always said about Star Wars, I didn't say it even in my episode 2 review, but a big thing about Star Wars is that it's a very lived-in world, I thought. And I know that's silly, considering it's space fantasy, but the Millennium Falcon's beat up. They're wearing jackets. That's a dusty planet. It's rags. It's very lived-in, which helps with the suspension of disbelief. The prequels didn't have that, and you can say it's stylistically to be shiny and perfect, but it takes you out of things and doesn't seem like it's a real thing. Here we're back to that. It very much is physical and real. And that's also part of how they shot it. It wasn't green screen-a-thon. So there is that. So that's one good thing already. Another good thing is just the feel and tone. Now, it's Star Wars. There's moments where, like, how to sum this up? Jason, my best friend, he does Triskaideka Files. He saw the second X-Files movie and described this to me. There are moments when the characters that you know and love from X-Files show up. And it's so telegraphed and expected, and you're wanting it and anticipating it, and that's why it's there. But when it happens, it's played as if it's a shocking moment, and therefore falls flat, and it all kind of falls apart. I mean, if they just gave you the bit, it would have been what you wanted and you're happy. And this movie does that. This movie gives you what you want and how you expect it and makes you happy. And yet gives you things you didn't expect or know you wanted and makes you happy. Okay? It's Star Wars. There's moments when people show up. You've seen them in the trailers. And when they show up, it's at moments when you're like, that's going to be them. Yep. And it happens, or you expect one thing, and maybe, and it is. Like, it plays on your expectations beautifully. And yet, at the same time, blindsides you with stuff. And I don't mean blindside in a negative way. It could come in with something funny, or emotional, or just that makes you go like, yeah, that was awesome. Stuff like that. And it works, because it knows that you're expecting to see these characters from 30 years ago, and plays on that. And it's real. There's so many, but I'm not going to talk about them. But they work. They all work. Every single one of them. Now, the key thing to talk about with all that is spoilers. Avoid them, because there's stuff in here where it plays out from what you learn and discover that's beautifully done. It's kind of masterful in how it goes. So, absolutely avoid spoilers if you can. Beyond that, it really feels like we're continuing a story that we want. Episodes 1, 2, and 3, more so we're just filling in gaps of things that we knew were there to be filled in. And it didn't really get people invested in the same way. But this is finally, we're moving on And there's nothing charted here because episodes 1, 2, and 3 came before stuff we knew. So we're just filling in the gaps and the journeys, the whole thing, and that's something I talked about before. But with this, we're going into uncharted territory, and that's exciting. And that's Star Wars. That's another thing for Star Wars. It's really good. So there is that part too. Another main thing is the cast. John Boyega is Finn, and he's awesome. I don't remember the guy who plays Poe, the pilot. He's awesome. Daisy Ridley is like Keira Knightley from the first Pirates movie. Just a discovery of wow. Yeah, she's ridiculously gorgeous and stunning, but at the same time, she's capable and funny, and the timing and the action. She's very much a modern heroine, and it's awesome. It's the hero's journey. It really is, and that's Star Wars to a T. It truly is. Some awesome, awesome stuff with her and Finn and everybody. And of course, you've got Han Solo, you've got Chewbacca. They're all over the trailers too. They're so funny. And just moments, little bits. This is the difference I've always said. When you have Fast and Furious 6 and then Furious 7. Furious 7 is a mark down because you've got someone who watched the prior ones and go, okay, I know what it takes to make this, but they don't really grasp it. This one, it's someone going, I know why this works, and then accomplishes it. They grasp it. So there's moments, I'll just say, there's a moment when something happens, Chewbacca's like, oh, and it's, there's so many little bits like that, where it's just, it's natural. It's little asides, it's little bits, and it's so good. It's so well done. I can't praise that enough either. Now, the battles are fantastic. And, I mean, you can probably tell from just seeing Daisy Ridley's character on a desert planet. It's very Luke Skywalker, very Tatooine. That's not by accident. And Dino Drac actually talks about the whole idea of, like, it's very A New Hope. Some could call that lazy. The way he puts it, though, is it's not lazy, it's just the decision that was made. Fair enough. Now, to say that it is a thing of new... No, it's not. And yet it is. It's Star Wars. There's always something and then multiple things happening. That's how that works. Now, Kylo Ren. I love the design. The look of his glasses, like his mask, is very, very cool. It's kind of tricky to see on this little thing here. But the mask is awesome. And I like these. These are a bit tight. I actually didn't wear these in the theater. I wore the normal glasses, like so. So, I chose these because you know why? They don't pinch my head when I wear them. Much better. And I got a fingerprint on that too. Man, I'm bad for that. Don't know how I did that. These ones, though, were a lot more tight, but heck, I just wanted Kylo Ren glasses. Now, here's the thing. None of what I'm saying is quantifying a record box office. Disney's gone out and said they're expecting a $200 million weekend. And then they updated, since I saw that, where they were saying a $100 million day is possible. Now, I just did a box office for 2 weeks ago. I'm going to record the other one shortly, and then this weekend's will come. But the $100 million day is possible for today, Friday. Because that, I think, includes the Thursday previews, which is weird. I don't agree with that. But if that's what's being reported, then that's going to be the new record. Because Potter Hallows 8th movie, Hallows 2, is the record holder with like 91 million. And it wasn't long ago, well, 12 years, but Spider-Man did 114 million in a weekend. And then Jurassic World went and did 204. This thing could do 100 million in a day. And I don't see anything saying it won't. Now, the key factor of all this is the movie's quality is not indicative whatsoever of it doing that. It doesn't make it the best movie. Avatar, Titanic, and Avengers are those upper echelon ones. And those are fantastic marketing things. I'm holding Kylo Ren glasses and a Kylo Ren cup. There's everything. You can get cell phones, you can get Bell Internet, you can get makeup, you can get oranges, you can get every toy you want, you can get masks, wall decals, car parts, you name it. of Star Wars tied in with this movie. It's got brand awareness beyond anything I've ever seen. I've been saying 195 for the overall weekend because it's expected to do this and not. But the more I see it, it's probably going to do these ridiculous numbers. They're saying something like 180 to 220 for the opening weekend. And let's see it. Let's see it go for it. Now, the movie is pretty damn great. I loved it. I always did like Star Wars as a kid. I saw them when I was in the single digits. And the fact that this continues that and harkens back on that, and yet moves forward, it kind of grows up with you. I mentioned where the other ones were for kids. This one's just a big Star War. And it feels like the other ones do. In that feel of, like, there's consequences. There's parts where stormtroopers are being exploded around. There's parts where good guys are being exploded around. It's a Star War. It happens. And that helps. There's gravitas to things. It makes it all work. And the part that really gets me, like, it's not just kind of similar to A New Hope. It's kind of similar to the original trilogy, because there's bits all through that are like, oh, that's similar. But that works because the whole thing about, like, the balance and the Force and the fact of things happening for a reason, that's how these things happen. That's how these characters are and would evolve, because these moments were the defining moments of their lives, and yet there's parts where we didn't get to see it because they're in-betweens. Think back to Empire Strikes Back, where they're talking about escaping from Boba Fett on Hoth and running away from this thing. We didn't see that between Death Star and Hoth. There was adventures we didn't get to see, but they happened and they tell us about it by just mentioning it casually offhand. That's what this does. This tells you things where they're discussing things and you learn a little bit. And then do a little more and you learn a little bit, because it's just the natural evolution of the discussion. They're not telling you things to make sure they hammer it home on the nose so that you, the audience, gets it. Because it's well structured, you'll get it in due time. Don't worry. It makes you wonder. You're like, oh, it's what? There's also a great moment. I'm just going to say it right now. It's a solo bit with the two characters, Han Solo and Chewbacca. And every other time they're talking and someone translates for the people who doesn't understand, which means the audience can understand. Very similar to Rocket and Groot, in a sense. But when they're alone talking and he responds, there's moments when you're like, what did he say? Why do you agree? There's a moment when Han says, we're going to do this. And Chewie says, oh, no, you're right, good idea. What was a good idea? But he wouldn't say it. He just knows. Little bits like that are so great. So good. And there's parts where you can see the original trilogy in it. And the prequel trilogy tried to do stuff, but kind of lost its way. But this one really held true. And I loved it. It's not perfect by any means, but it's easily some of the most fun I've had watching a movie. Like, I light years ahead of the prequels, and I can probably rewatch it a lot more than I could the original trilogy. It's just modernized compared to them too. And it's a hard thing to not recommend, honestly, in some ways. And that's really it. Does it mean it's going to make that much money? No, it's going to make that much money because everyone knows about it and wants to see it. It's an event. It's an actual event, this thing. And deservedly so. I have no problem with it gunning for the crown. Prove me wrong. I want to see the box office actually. I want to see this thing do it. If anything can, this is it. This is how you build it for it. Jurassic World, no one predicted would do that, and did. This thing's going to come out there and just go nuts. And could it do it by design? If anything can, it's this. It probably will, the more I see that. So there you go. Easy recommendation, like 9.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I need to see it again, but just walking out of there was not a single bit that I was upset with. Not a single thing that I felt missing. Not anything that was kind of a letdown. Everything played out well. Everything was great. The characters were capable and funny. Oh, they're funny. and emotional and good, and everything had weight, and yet there's brevity because that's what they are. Kylo Ren is awesome. His sound. I mean, like I said, it's very, very Vader-ish, very Luke-ish, very Han-ish. It's Han. Very much these characters being their way, and yet it's evolved in this story. Now, why did this almost ruin Star Wars? So, when I saw The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, that movie being nearly 3 hours, 135 minutes for this one's runtime, by the way, which is 2 hours, 15 minutes. When I saw that, it was during the Dwarf Smaug fight in the foundry, in the forge. And it was going on and going and going and going, and I'm like, I'm going to pee myself if I don't go. So I went. And tried to go quick, but it's like when you hold it, you're like, oh, I gotta go. Oh, it just kind of keeps going. You're like, oh, I want to go back to the movie. So I finally got back, probably 5, maybe even 10 minutes. It seemed long. Like I was like, oh man, that was a while. I've probably missed a lot. It's probably going to be in the credits. I come back in, they're still fighting. And it went on for 15 more minutes and then took another 5, 10 to close out. Wow. I didn't want a repeat of that. So, it's Star Warsing, because this is spoiler-free. It's Star Warsing. And I will simply say that means there's battles afoot. Because it's Star Wars. They're happening. And it's stuff. Like, if I went, I'd have missed stuff. Okay? So, it gets to a point where it's like, downtime. Now I know the ending is coming. I've got some time. There's a little downtime here. I figure I've got 10 minutes, probably, so I can go quick and still get the ending. Okay. So as soon as that downtime comes, and I'm confirming it's downtime, and we're there, I go. I go to the bathroom. Maybe 3, 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and it wasn't quite as bad as Hobbit. I come back in. I'm like, oh, it's the ending. It's happening. I'm looking at it right now. So it was doing the stuff, then there was the thing, and then the ending. I missed the thing, so I'm a little, but it's still there. I know what the thing was. It's obvious when I'm there. I'm like, okay, we're doing it. Yeah. I sit down. I was in an aisle seat, so that's why this was a doable thing. I sit down, go, I made it. 10, 15 seconds later, credits. I could have held it. I could have held it. And I'd see the thing. So I went, I just laughed. And the people next to me just kind of went, oh man, that sucks. I'm like, I got most of it. If I was any longer, I would have come back to credits and been so angry because I would have missed the entire ending payoff to the movie. So that's this almost missed it, but I'm still drinking it. So that was my experience. I literally stood up, put my coat on, got on my phone, and looked it up on Wikipedia to see, did I miss a thing? I didn't miss a thing. It's just exactly what I figured. There was a goal that got achieved. There you go. I saw the achievement of the goal. All I missed was going to achieve the goal. But wow, whew. Now that's never happened. I've been able to hold it before, and I get out of there and I'm like, I gotta pee bad. Like, Transformers are bad for that. Those things are almost 3 hours. I've never had it where 2 hour movie, and 2 and a bit. Man, what? I guess it's all the previews too, but god damn it. So that was close. That was really close. But that would never knock the score of anything, right? But I would literally walk out there going, I don't know how it ended. I had to look it up online. I paid $13.50 for the AVX seat, which is 3D, reserved seating. I paid $2.99 for the collector's cup with the topper. You can pick the topper. For the drink itself, I think it's like $7 or $8. That's ridiculous. And the glasses are $9.99. So to give you an idea, I pre-bought this, and then I bought this. This was $18. But it's an event, it's a one-in-a-lifetime, and I would have bought this prop anyway. I want a Kylo Ren mask. I'm getting one. But there you go. So with all that said, I would have dropped $35 and not seen the ending to the thing that I'd managed to avoid spoilers for. Woo! That would have sucked. I mean, Hobbit, I read the book. I know what happens. But this one, wow. Oh, that was close. So, lesson learned there. But I guess I really had to pee. I mean, I came home. I was drinking this thing the whole time home. Came home, had to go pee again before I did this. So I guess I had to pee. So, all that said, the movie is really great. It's not best ever. I'd say it's the best Star Wars movie. I mean, Empire is great, and Dino Drek had a really good point. Matt talks about it on that, where this is going to be the new hope of the new trilogy. We're only going to get darker from here. And I'm like, it could be really good. Because I was thinking this the other day, too. The Stormtroopers, that's very Nazi. Literally. And that's the idea. It's not pro-Nazi, it's just the visuals that they used are very much that style of the faceless enemy troopers and blah blah blah. Stormtroopers in this is very Nazi. And again, don't mean that as like all pro-Nazi. It's just like the speech style, the very proper everything, and the clean look, and it's it works. It makes them a threat. It's awesome. Now, one last thing I want to say about all this money rolling around for Star Wars. How many of these things sold? There were a lot of people in there buying these. $10 a pop? You're making a $200 million movie weekend with another $10 for maybe every 10 people? Now, one ticket is $10-ish. Add this on, you're literally doubling that. And then put on the collector's things and whatever else you've got. The amount of money this thing is making is nuts, and now you know why Disney paid billions. So, with that, I cut this short. It's not short at all, but you know what I mean. I'm going to drop this here and upload it. Again, no spoilers. Please don't spoil it for anybody, and please avoid spoilers if you can. You will get so much more out of it. It really does work well. It's everything you expect. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see how the box office goes. Tune in Monday for that. Have a good one.